going on, y'all? Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. All right, so listen, right? I'm gonna share this, and I'm gonna get into something I found, and I want to say this. This is a little epilogue. Matter of fact, before I even share anything, let me get into this real quick because it's got to be said, right? I've been trying to emphasize a point to y'all when it comes to this whole YouTube thing and what's going on here lately and what we've been seeing, right? Oops, sorry about that, y'all. This thing that we've been seeing lately here. One of the things that we've been seeing here lately is it's definitely a difference when it comes to your views nowadays. I don't know what's pressing that. I don't know what's doing that or whatever the case may be, but I think I found out something. And if you're a YouTuber, whether you like me, whether you don't like me, whether it's your first time here, you're 30,000 here, I don't care. What you need to realize is what I'm about to tell y'all is going to blow y'all mind. Not only is it going to blow y'all mind, but something else y'all going to find out is that everything that I was saying was true. Thank you, OG Kicks. Everything that I was saying was true. So today, I don't know, God make funny things happen sometimes. So today I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, oh, there's something going on YouTube. There's no way that I had lives that did 28,000, 40,000 views before the time I was done with the video. They don't even have to sit. Those views were there before the time the end of the video was there. This is a fact. And the only thing you have to do is right now, just go to my page, go back, and the only thing I want you to do is I want you to scroll and hit and then scroll, and you're gonna see the difference yourself. You'll see it with your own two eyes. You'll even be like, how did he go from ten of thousands of views to all of a sudden he got 400 views, 500 views, and then you start assessing some things. So today there was an article that was put out that grabbed my attention. It was like God almost dragged me into it. He was like, "Nah, this is the one you're looking for here." And I said, "Oh, really?" So give me 2 seconds. I should have had this pulled up, but I started talking already, so sometimes I get moved like that. But this is gonna blow your mind. They're changing the platform here. And I want y'all to realize how serious this is. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just want to turn off this vibration thing real quick. There we go. Y'all was hearing that in the background. I know y'all was. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Boom, here we go. So Amazon at first had a bunch of layoffs this recently, but this was actually put up by the same person that I was mentioning, this Neil Mahan guy, right? So YouTube is offering employees buyouts amid major reorganization. Mention I said that. This is a company restructure that he's doing. CEO Neil Mahan said in a memo to staff that YouTube needs to set itself up to take advantage of AI. Read the comments below. Now, this is the funny thing. YouTube right now, or Google rather, owns two properties that are both AI model structures that they plan on implementing more so just like right now where you got with Samsung and they do with their AI technology. If you ever own an S23, S24, S25 like I have, you'll realize that very quickly, even with the tablets, which I'm using to stream to y'all right now. It's the same thing, it's AI in it. Even the what's the names now on the AI model that you have on Google search, they'll even come up with AI research before at the top before anything. So improvise this. It is at their advantage to start taking advantage of AI. YouTube is offering employees buyouts as part of a major reorganization. CEO Neil Mahan said on Wednesday in a memo to staffers that was obtained by us, whatever. Looking to the future, the next frontier for YouTube is AI, which has the potential to transform every part of the platform, Mahan said. We need to set ourselves up to make the most of this opportunity. Mohan said YouTube, which is owned by Google, was creating 3 separate product organizations. This is a company restructure they're doing. And what they're doing is they're going to unfocus themselves off of our material and focus themselves on AI created material. Now, that AI created material could be one of a couple of things. One, I think it'll probably be laughing, he, key type of videos, and they have to stay within the perimeter of, copyright infringement. Meaning this, meaning that, say you took something like I don't know, let me someone like Wolverine and Deadpool, right? And you made a parody of it. Well, if the parody is too much close to who they are, whatever, whatever, you couldn't monetize it, but it could still stay up on the website. That's what I'm thinking. I base this off of this like AI songs that are on YouTube now, um, and music in general. I'll say this in their favor. I think they have a potentiality, if they wanted to take away the music domination that Spotify holds right now. YouTube could do that very much so. I know Leo had a part with them or whatever, whatever. I haven't seen Leo popping in and out. I know he had some things he had to go and deal with personally for a while. So shout out to Leo though. But I will say this. I'll say I think this is the model that they're going to take, and I think this is the model that they're going to go. They could really. I don't want to see. Let me say this, and then I'll read the comment. I mean the article and everything for you. I'll start from the top. I don't want to see YouTube or any streaming service take over music. I think the implement and let me add this too. Just like Timberland is running around, one of the greatest producers in the world, Timberland, Missy Elliott, etc., etc., etc. Missy, if you still talk to this guy, go talk to him. He was promoting AI music, and I mean heavy, heavy, heavy. And I said, this is one of the top producers. You know, I met Timberland, Missy, Magoo. What's the other one's name? It was another girl that was with him. I forgot what her name was. It wasn't the Tweet girl either. It was another girl. She had a dope song and had like a harp playing or something like that. I forgot what her name was. Marie something. Nicole. It might have been Nicole Marie or something. It's something like that. But anyway, I met all of them twice. And one visit to New York, they were at MTV and across the street from our old offices at 1540 Broadway. And this is when people used to stand out in front of MTV there. And it would be like thousands of kids. I'm exaggerating, but it would be at least 300, 400 kids. They have them barricaded off. The stars would come to the window and wave and stuff like that or whatever. They would, TRL was the name of the show. Carson Daly, who does the news, I think over there, CBS, he used to host the show. So if y'all don't know that, that's where Carson Daly comes from. He comes from MTV. They're retiring videos to MTV. That's just another moniker in the staff of things or whatever, whatever. Not to mention, this is the first time in a while that they haven't had. I'm 35 years. I said that they haven't had a rap song on the Billboard Top 50. Oh, the game is at its worst. The game is at its worst. Nas and make an impact. I'm trying to tell you, I've heard the project from Raekwon. I've heard the project from Mobb Deep on Infinite. I was talking about Infinite before it even came out. I've heard the project now from Ghostface Killah. I've heard the project. Master Pill's doing some great things over there. Y'all continue doing that. Nas, I'm gonna be over there in a minute. I'm gonna knock at the door, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? That's the artist that started me out rapping. I don't want to see the moniker switch from Spotify going over to YouTube. Nor more do I want to see, and like I said, I'm gonna reread this article. Don't worry about it. I don't want to see artists like Timberland or producers like Timberland that are legendary promoting using AI because he knows or should know, if he doesn't know, that people that are listening to him and saying what he's saying and the statements that he's making, he doesn't realize, I don't think, Timberland, the impact that you'll have on the kids now. You understand what I'm saying? You're taking it from the lens scope of somebody that was the age or you were and how they thought when you was 19, 18, 17. You can't do that. Not with these kids. I think that's why I get along with so many young people because of pure simple fact, because they tend to like me all the time. They like my conversations. A lot of the viewers I have are younger. And when I say young, I'm talking about like 20s, stuff like that or whatever. I'm not in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? I think the youngest person I ever talked to in here was like 19 or something like that. If you pretty much, if people know the rules on my channel, I've always been like that. If you under 18, I don't want you here. If you 16, I don't want you here. If you 17, I don't want you here. Because I curse and I say a lot of things that a 16, 17-year-old I wouldn't say in front of my kid. So I don't want you here as somebody else's kid and then your parents get mad at me or whatever. Um, with that being said, I know I drag on or whatever. That's just me. I'm me. I don't do, hey, everybody. I don't do that shit. It's boring. Anyway, long story short here, right? I don't want to see YouTube take over the model that Spotify has, being that the point right now is there's such little money in the game as it is. You understand what I'm saying? Spotify and all these streaming services, and really before Spotify, it was Apple and iTunes. They made this possible. See, I remember. If you guys don't know, my name is Davin Lewis. I was in the music business for over 17 years. I know this stuff like the back of my hand, and I'm telling you, I remember when they used to have in stores when I would come in the stores. And how many of y'all remember Virgin Mega Store in Midtown Manhattan, or Tower Records, or what was the other one? There was another one too. I forgot what the name of it was, but they were a music store too. All these stores, right? All these stores, they all had one thing in common. They would have artists come in the store. You could mingle with the artists, get your poster signed and everything like that. But more importantly enough, you could buy their album there in the location on spot. It was a big deal. They used to roll out the artists a lot different for you kids out there. So the artists would come into the store. There'd be hundreds, if not thousands, of people. People come from different boroughs to see these artists or whatever, whatever. It was an event within an event. There was an event because the artist was there and they were there to celebrate. And it was an event in the same token that as the record company or the artist, you were there and prospectively you would buy an album. Now everybody that come there, of course, they ain't buying the album. We know that. But it's the rollout that mattered. Now, this usually entailed what the average artist now will see it from Spotify. I heard Snoop Dogg say, he said, because we reached 1 billion and we only got a check for like 40 grand or something like that. That's exactly how he said. He said we reached 1 billion streams on Spotify and we only got a check for like 40 grand. Like that's chump change. You know what I mean? Anybody ever been? I've been around millionaires since I was 21 years old, and before then I was around thousandaires. You know what I'm saying? Real hefty thousandaires. And when I say thousandaire, I mean 100,000 plus. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was in the game, man, for a minute. So, I don't. Automatically $40,000 ain't no money. That's all I'm saying. $40,000 ain't no money. I can spend $40,000 in 2 days if I really want to. You know what I mean? So only maybe even a day, really. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, long story short, what I don't want that model right there they had with album sales, or what made the Masterpiece, or what made the Jay-Z's, or what made the Empires of Diddy, or made the Empires of Cash Money. These albums, physical entities being sold, were actually the antithesis of these guys making the money that they did. So what am I saying here? Well, I think the potential platform that YouTube wants to create, which will be more so like a Spotify, and emphasize on what they already have accomplished right now, which is YouTube Music. See, a lot of people don't listen to YouTube Music, especially in the urban crowd, because you're already looking at the videos here on the YouTube app. But YouTube Music is its own separate app, with its own separate subscription base, which leads me to that. They're going to probably try, based on what I read, they're going to probably try to induce their subscription models. And subscription models usually come when advertisers are starting to decline involvement, or they want to tighten up what advertisers are going to be long-term contractual obligations as far as advertising is concerned. So it kind of ties them into a format of that, of who and trajectory they're going to be dealing with, and who will be there just for the moment. Upcoming brand, a brand is popping for the moment, but they may not be for 10 years from now. Everybody's not Ralph Lauren or Prada or these timeless brands anymore. There's so many brands that it's irregularity that things are special anymore. The days of Fat Farm or Kala Kanai or Sean John, etc., etc. So with that being said, this company restructuring that YouTube is doing, that I was talking about 4 days ago, there's something funny with YouTube. Guys, can you make sure you double tap the screen, hit the like button? I appreciate it. I said it was going on with YouTube, and everybody laughed at me and said, I don't know what you're talking about, whatever. My name is Professional. That's what they knew me for, as in the music industry and the people that I was around. And everybody that knows me up at Bad Boy, etc., knows one thing. I'm one smart dude. I used to have a nickname, other nickname too, the Intelligent Hoodlum, my homeboy used to call me. He said, yo, my man like the intelligent hoodlum. It was a rapper that was out. He was just like, he reminded me of him. Because he's surprised at things that occur up in my mind. I'm very sharp, trust me, very calculated motherfucker. Always have been. Anybody knows that, they'll tell you that. I'm not cunning, just crafty. Um, I'll say this. Cunning is a tool of deceitful people and manipulators. I want to read this article to y'all so y'all understand the tenure where I'm coming from. And the reason I went on that long diatribe about the music industry, because I think that's where they're going to see they can make their next money. If you monetize and you capitalize on a music engine like Spotify and revert it into something else and make the priority go into YouTube Music as an app, as a standalone app, I want y'all to understand that's a standalone app. It's not inclusive of YouTube itself. So therefore, you can charge a separate subscription model price for that particular product, and you can sell it in tiers if you're really smart. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning like, well, you can get this version, and this version comes for free, of course, but it's going to have a lot of interruptions, more interruptions than you'd rather to deal with. And especially if you're having an intimate moment with your loved one or something like that, you know what I mean? By the way, buy Colgate. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I just messed up the moment, you know what I'm saying? Same thing that happens with, I forgot what that other one was called. That was a streaming service, and it happens with Spotify. So you'll be able to pay in 3 or 4 separate tiers, I'm assuming. You know, want to be commercialist, want to be a better sound quality, want to be a premier sound quality with the highest bit rate per stereo output, which you really can't never get unless you got wired headphones. Let me give you all a little secret, right? Anybody that work in the studio know this, or been in the studio. You will never get the sound out of a pair of Bluetooth headphones that you will get in a pair of plugged headphones. Remember, I said that. You will not get the same sound out of a pair of C-type connection headphones that you will get with a pair of headphones and a headphone jack either. You understand? When you're doing both versions, whether it's the Bluetooth or whether you're doing the C connection to the headphones, it's all data transfer, meaning that it's playing out the music, but it's transferring it through a process or whatever, the encryption is actually putting that little C type wiring thing that you have there. A lot of people don't know that C type wiring is actually an encryption code embedded into a small piece of it is hardware because anyway. Long story short, I like to give people tips and things if they think I don't know what I'm talking about. Anybody who worked in the studio know that you're always going to get a better sound off of plugged-in headphones. Meister, there's a couple other brands, but anyway, YouTube will never take over the music industry. I don't think people would subjugate themselves to YouTube, but this is one incentive they do have. Let's say theoretically they wanted to, right? What they would do is, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, what they would do here easily is this. They would actually take advantage of 2 models they already have, which is YouTube Music and which is videos that are placed here on YouTube. They could offer the record companies packages that Spotify couldn't. Spotify doesn't have a video model, and if they did, who gives a shit? It's not as big as YouTube. So it stands to measure that that's one way they could compete in the game and entice the record companies. I'm going to tell the record companies this, and I want y'all to listen very carefully to anybody that's in the music industry. A lot of y'all that's in the music industry, I don't speak, and y'all here listening to me, and I'm not saying that theoretically. We both know. You know what I'm saying? And I want to keep it that way. So, the point I'm getting at is if you allow YouTube in this new business model and this new transition they're about to have up at that company that I was speaking about 4 or 5 days ago now, before these articles came out. This article came out Wednesday. I was talking about it 5 days ago. I said, there's something going on up there. And I said, I know that dude Neil McHan's behind it. And I didn't have this information. There was something else I was right about that I'm going to play for y'all in a little bit too. That's going to blow y'all mind because y'all heard me say it if you were here with me the other day. Neil McHan is out for domination of the game. I hear you. That's that boss talk. I ain't mad at you. But I can't participate, nigga. And for all intents and purposes, you appear like a nigga to me. So listen, guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button unless this is YouTube staff watching me, and I hope y'all listening. Um, don't try to take over the music business. The music business is already pennies in the water. If you come in as a competitor and a high competitor to Spotify, it's going to put it even more pennies in the dollar. Ultimately, what will happen is you will end up spending more money investing in advertising of such platform, and in hopes and opportunities that people will segue from Spotify to YouTube, and that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'll tell you why. Spotify has been put out as a model for the music industry. It's very different than an option. A model, and then there's an option. You ready for this? You listening to me, kids? Okay, you ready? A model for the business is Apple and their iPhones. That's a model. You show it out, it's actually a showpiece. Hey, I've got an iPhone. I've got the iPhone 17 Pro, 3 cameras now. Huh? What are you gonna do about it? It's a showpiece. It's a model. It's saying everything that I think of in the phone business either has to do with Samsung or it has to do with what's the name I find is the premier go-tos when it comes to said product. All right. Now YouTube is that for videos. So much so that MTV said, "Fuck it, we ain't even doing videos." You know what I mean? No, this is the truth. MTV is totally shut down all its music channels. If y'all didn't know that, so they're not doing music videos no more. No more. I want my MTV. It's over. So you have to be prepared for these new things that happen. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. You're glad you got guys like this. I might take a hiatus from going away because I'm thinking, if I don't say this shit, who will? There's no other. I ran into maybe 2 others. That's it. All right, so listen. I'll put it more in perspective for you. If YouTube takes over the music game, they'll have domination over 2 things. And I'm talking about with YouTube music. I'm not talking about with YouTube. I'm talking about with YouTube music, which is a separate entity and app, owner and proprieted by Google. So make that clear. It would have its own separate subscription rate, which I think this is where this shit is going. And I've said this a million times, they're going to eventually do that. If anybody remembers, I said, and this is a quote from me, I said, $25 a month to utilize YouTube versus having a free account, you would quickly see that many people disappear. Well, it's here, kids. Oh, luck favors the prepared. Luck favors the prepared. I heard somebody say that a long time ago, and it always stuck with me. Luck favors the prepared. So, with that being said, right, let's say theoretically, YouTube makes the switch and it says, we want to fully go into music and AI. Well, they would have 2 advantages. One, they could invite Suno and old Timberland over there, who Timberland is over there running the motherfucker right now. Yeah. Listen, man, I know you the winner. I got big and swole and everything, but I expected better from you than that, nigga. I expected better from you than that. That's like, damn, that's like a traitor. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many epics. He's like, well, the music's gonna change anyway. Fuck that. You don't have to be on the fucking forefront of it. This is why people are forgetting D'Angelo 4 days after he passes away. This is why people forget, oh man, it's crazy. We're in expedited media age. An expedited media age is something that I used a term a long time ago. And I'll tell you what that means. Expedited media age means that stories that years ago might have meant something. I learned this in college. We live in a 10-day nation, meaning the nation at one time used to talk about a story for 10 days, and then they would switch up and start talking about something else. But we live in a 10-day nation. We live in a less than a 10-day nation now. We live in a 6 to 12 hour nation, if you want to say, where unless it's something like Charlie Kirk or something that can't be ignored, or something like a tragedy and a shooting or something like that, it can't be ignored. That news cycle is going to switch in 6 to 12 hours. Please believe that. 6 to 12 hours, that news cycle is going to switch, and they're going to be talking about something else. And whatever they're talking about at that time, you're going to be confused because you're going to be like, well, why did they go into this, or whatever the case may be. Well, the reason they did that is because there's no empathy anymore. You can quickly, if you pay attention, I'll give you an example. When Michael Jackson passed away, right? People talked about that for a year. There was the investigation. What happened to Michael? We saw Michael get out the back of an ambulance. It was the biggest thing that ever happened. I think it was like 2011, 2010, 2012, something like that. Maybe even 2009 when Michael died. I even remember where I was at. I was in my condo at the time. I had a beautiful woman over that was chilling with me at the time named Miranda. Beautiful Puerto Rican girl. She was hanging out with me or whatever. She was on my laptop. And she said, oh my God, Michael Jackson passed away. I said, what? I came out the kitchen, I looked or whatever. I said, oh my freaking God. There were so many people that remembered Michael. You fast forward 10 years after Michael was alive. One time they talk about Michael's when it's got to do with some scandal, who his family and the state owe money to. Who's going to get his money? How are the kids doing? Oh, Paris is crazy now. She doing this and that and other. Yeah, I'll be watching. They forgot about Michael. Same thing I was trying to tell Pup. You better bring your ass out that motherfucking prison and perform. And all you niggas that was signed to Bad Boy, you better bring your ass up on that motherfucking stage with them. Since you couldn't be down at the courthouse and shit, God bless your hearts. I ain't gonna never forget that shit. Puff, you better not ever forget that shit when you get home. Them motherfuckers ain't give a fit it out. You understand? Puff who? Oh, you mean the guy I worked for a decade, 2 decades? Oh, I don't remember him. Yeah. Anyway, listen. Long story short, right? If they make the segue to try to take over the two vehicles that are obviously up for dibs nowadays, and I'm talking about YouTube, forget that story. If we talk about the two models that they're going after, which is YouTube Music, increasing AI, and it seems like to me YouTube is going for a subscription base based off the either lack of money that they're making or added money they could make projectionally, both. Off the offering multiple subscription. Now this may include this app, many other apps not being free anymore. I said this a million times. I said, see, the real and true way to get the riffraff and trolls and people like that, or people that won't hit the like button. You see all those people sitting in the chat room, but none of them gonna hit the like button. That means that it's probably YouTube staff watching me or some weirdos watching me. But either way, the way it goes, it doesn't matter. That's why I'm always careful what I say. Since y'all couldn't help me out, give me a second here. I gotta do something. Okay. You gotta love the Asian community. They're very smart people. That works. Huh. So I see a guy in here right now named Jay. Jay, how come you haven't hit the like button? Oh, you saw my son, I can see you. I can see your names. I can see your names now. Oh, the Chinese, they're beautiful people. Beautiful people. Very inventive people. Very inventive people. So anyway, let me continue over what I was saying. If they decide to encave and explode YouTube, I'm talking about, and go with a subscription model, what they'll do is they'll eradicate a lot of the riffraff, but they stand to lose a lot as well. Some of this riffraff is consistent in the bulk of many of these YouTubers' audiences, and that could be a problem. Because you'll see tomorrow, a lot of YouTube subscribers are dormant subscribers. You may not know this or not, but a lot of the subscribers are dormant subscribers, meaning that, they're here because you were talking about one particular topic. I told y'all this before, and then when you stop talking about that, they're gone. That's why a lot of the Diddy guys and gals or whatever, they consistently talk about that. That's why they always have a struggling time keeping people's interest on things like that. They don't have a multifaceted amount of issues talk about because they haven't been through anything. So if you're wondering what I'm reading here, I'm reading something that I had started talking about a week ago, which I'm going to play the videos for that. I'm just going to play little excerpts of it. But there was two videos I made, and one of them was I'm too real for YouTube. That was one of them. And the second one was something on the hints of talking about Neil Meehan, but both of them I mentioned his name. I mentioned his name both times. And this guy was is the new CEO of YouTube, who formerly was in advertising for Google, which are two separate different entities. Again, you guys have got to learn how to separate your entities. So anyway, with that being said, this CEO up there, he took over for a woman named Susan, who initially was and always was the CEO up there, and everything was flying smooth, as many YouTubers that have been here way before me seem to agree with. This guy, he came in and he wants to be the future of what YouTube is. And this is kind of like the shit that happened with great companies once they take leadership in a different direction. You get people with all kinds of wacky ideas, in my point of view, or whatever, and they try to move the ideas a little too fast. These are ideas that you should be trying to implement in maybe 2029, late 28. Give it a test run to see if it'll work for 2030. What you're going to see a lot of these companies do when they're going to fumble, and trust me, I was in the music business for 17 years. I've seen them come and go. Artists, companies, startups, such and such record label with MC such and such, little such and such. I didn't see them come and go. You can't tell me nothing. I'm telling you, what they're going to do is they're going to test a lot of models and they're going to fail. You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the models that's going to fail. But what happens is a lot of times these businesses implode with the failure. The businesses implode with the failure. They can't survive the failure. They can't survive the hit from the failure. So what happens is they implode, if not even in a section, in a portion. Now that's what's going to happen to most of these companies that try to fast forward. Sometimes you get a little ahead of yourself. See, I'd rather be old rich me than young rich you. Oh, it's worth every penny to be old rich me in the end run than young rich you. Oh, it's worth so much in the end run. You know, there's niggas out here working as door greeters at 67 at Walmart. Oh, God. Ask him what his story was. YouTube themselves, within this article, offering payouts to their employees now. Y'all don't understand. That's why I always take my time with shit. Read the memo YouTube CEO sent about employee buyouts and reorganization. YouTube is offering employee buyouts amid a major reorganization. CEO Neil Meehan said in a memo to staff that YouTube needs to set itself up to take advantage of AI. YouTube is offering employee buyouts as part of a major reorganization, CEO Neil Meehan said on Wednesday in a memo to staffers that was obtained. Looking to the future, the next frontier for YouTube is AI, which has the potential to transform every part of the platform, which they want to do. Meehan wrote, "We must set ourselves up to make the most of this opportunity." Mohan said YouTube, which is owned by Google, was creating 3 separate product organizations that will report directly to him, viewing products, creator, and community products, and subscription products, subscription models. It's like I was explaining to you, dumb. No layoffs were planned as part of the reorganization, which is set to take effect on November 5th. He said no layoffs were planned as of now, but he's letting them know basically there's some potential ones coming. And if it could also be a test. Let's see who wants to stay here and who wants to ride into the future with us. But we also understand some of you may be ready for a new challenge. See, that's what I just said. So we decided now is the right time to offer you a voluntary exit program if you don't feel that you want to go in the same direction we want to go. This is how companies like this will tell you. We're to see ourselves going in another direction. They'll say it just like that. Trust me, I worked in the music business for 17 years. No, we just see ourselves going in another direction, maybe that may not agree with you. Moed said offering YouTube employees in the United States will be receiving more information about their buyout option. Google did not immediately respond to the request for a comment Several companies have made cuts to their workforce, in part due to AI. Amazon announced this week that it was slashing more than 14,000 jobs in order to position itself to innovate faster in the age of AI. Alphabet, Google's parent company, who I've mentioned 1,000 times here, and y'all thought I didn't know what I was talking about. Alphabet, Google's parent company, reported record earnings on Wednesday, achieving its first ever $100 billion. Listen one more time. Google's parent company reported earnings on Wednesday, achieving its first ever 100 billion quarter. Okay, read my hands full memo to YouTube employees. Hi, YouTubers. This is what Neil McHan wrote, who is the CEO up there at YouTube now. Over the last 20 years, YouTube has grown from a scrappy video sharing site into one of the world's largest streaming platforms. Our success has been big on bold bets that paid off year after year. You see what I said? Bold bets. This is why I tried to tell y'all, and I mentioned this a few minutes ago. A lot of these companies are going to try to take similar bold bets. And not only are they going to lose and fail because it's too early to be trying to implement. When you're trying to implement a new piece of technology too quickly, usually a lot of times it fails. I'll give you a perfect example of it. What's that Google headset? I mean, not Google headset, that Apple headset that they had that you put around your eyes, you know what I'm talking about? And they took you into this AI world or whatever, whatever. For all mistakes and purposes, that bullshit is a failure. And that shit costs $3,000 a pop. Um, right now, Samsung just came out with their own version of it, and everybody's giving it rave reviews. But the ones that innovated, that did Apple, they think it's shit. It's too heavy. The straps don't fit awkwardly. You can't wear it for an exceeded amount of time because you might have, some type of brain stuff going on or whatever, whatever. Some people were reporting. And then there was what else? The VR glasses. That's for virtual reality gaming. They ain't really take off like that, and it did it. Shit, PlayStation 5 didn't even do that well. You understand what I'm saying? Now they're finding out the model to go to is a subscription based, where you stream the games instead of having an extra physical console. You understand what I'm saying? You can do this with what's the one I got here? I ain't even hooked it up yet. Somebody bought it for me too. I ain't buy it. Somebody bought it for me as a gift. PlayStation Portal. You know what I mean? It's right over here in my dresser. I swear to God. Next time I'm on camera, I don't want to get up and do all that right now, but next time I'm on camera, I'll show it to you. It's a little handheld, and I could. This only thing I gotta do is pay for a PlayStation 5 service, and I can play the joints anywhere I want to. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation 5 without having the machine. Everything is moving to a subscription-based model. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Beware of this because if you're a content creator, they're going to force you to make content that's unnatural to you. They're trying to force you to do content that is ha ha, kiki, he he, in order to revert this website back to originally what it was. They want the conspiracy theorists off here. They want the truth tellers off here. They want the woke people off here. They want all them motherfuckers gone. And whether they got to get you out of here by inclusive of a subscription rate model to at its lowest point, the subscription rate model will now be inclusive of you actually having to pay to utilize this app. They will go there if they need to. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers just made $100 billion for the first time in their life. And do you not notice last month was the time when everybody was getting all those views? Everybody would have views, people that didn't even have views before. I was at least getting a third of my audience, which their raggedy ass servers that they got can only attain. Did y'all know that? Listen, if you ever wondered, I figured this out 3 years ago and I said it. If you ever wondered why you'll have, like, for example, I got 30,000, right? Or some people have 100,000. Some people have 500,000. Some people have 1 million followers. But what they always notice is you only get a third of those followers that actually come and follow you and listen to you. You get a third of them. It's always perfectly cut into a third with the potential for more. But most of the time, it's a third of your listening. They'll give you the third maximum, in my opinion. They'll feed it out to you in the bit rate because that's all that the servers can handle. If there's 1 billion people that visit this website a day, I don't know how many of that billion are actually content creators, but let's say out of that billion, it's just the same amount. It's a third. That is too much for their servers to handle. So at that point, and I know this, I went to school for digital media. You can't tell. I know about software and hardware. Like I said, my name's professional. That's my name. I'm not a dummy. So like I said to you here, I'll say it again. The servers can't handle that. That's why everybody's evenly distributed a third. Then when you conclusively add all those numbers up, there's in the billions. So you're talking about in the trillions, even if you wanted to give people a fourth. a fourth of their followers at one time, based on the potential of who it's streaming at that time, the amount of numbers they have in there, which is at the very bottom, 20 million to 30 million people at a time on every given hour. There's at least 20 to 30 million people streaming every hour online. You understand what I'm saying? And it maybe even more than that. You know what I mean? Again, this is the memo from Neil Meehan, and I want y'all to understand, and I'll read this. Alphabet, Google's parent company, reported record earnings on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, which would have been inclusive of not October, but September's earnings. September's earnings, the earnings reports always come out a month behind. You understand what I'm saying? This month has not concluded yet, so they wouldn't have this earnings report. They're having September's earnings report. Remember, September's when all of us were seeing these views, and all of a sudden the views went down. So that means, was there some fair play here? Did y'all motherfuckers bump up them numbers for them advertisers so they would have some faith in y'all, and then brought them back down to normal and shit after that, after they signed on? Because that's what the shit sound like to me. It sound like you was trying to entice some motherfucking what's-names and get some kick in on the back of it. How the fuck all of a sudden y'all went from 100 billion, y'all made 100 billion in a quarter? 100 billion quarter to quarter would have cut off in September. Oh, that's cute as in a motherfucker. Then when y'all start the new quarter, y'all deduce it with the software. That's cute shit right there. Make it look normal for the F.B.I. and everybody. I get it. I get it. I get it. You don't need that IRS on you like that. I get it. I get it. All right. All right. All right. Anyway, hi YouTube. I smell that shit from a mile away. Hi YouTubers, over the last 20 years, YouTube has grown from a scrappy video sharing site into one of the world's largest streaming platforms. Our success has been built big on bold bets that have paid off year after year, from launching YouTube partner program to investing in the living room. Today, those investments have created a thriving business. We paid over 100 billion to our ecosystem, secured our position as number one streamer in the US for over 2 years, and built a subscription engine with over 125 million MMP and 8 million YouTube subscribers. Looking for the future, the next frontier is YouTube AI, which has the potential to transform every part of the platform. We need to set ourselves up to make the most of this opportunity. That means ensuring every fast-growing area gets the focus and investment it needs to succeed, building deeper expertise behind our core business model, and driving faster decision-making and execution. To do that, we are creating a separate product organizations that will report directly to me. Viewer products. This team will focus on viewer experience, including improvements to search and discovery, accelerate growth in the living room, increasing engagement with our strategic audiences. Note that, strategic audiences. Meaning they ain't looking for niggas over here talking about, yeah, and what we need to do is a people and the F.B.A. and Lord have mercy and all that shit. They ain't looking for y'all motherfuckers. And y'all gonna come up less and less in the search, and y'all better listen to this shit. What the fuck is wrong? ¿Qué pasa contigo? Tú sabes, no puñeta estúpido. Investing in our world's infrastructure and continue to build our foundation of responsibility. This team will lead by Johanna. It will bring together Core X, living room, infrastructure, trust, and safety, and will be split across 3 pillars led by Emily, Jenny, and Wu Jing. Emily, Jenny, and Wu Jing. Emily, Jenny, and Wu Jing. It sound like everybody there getting their fingernails painted at that party. Nah, we just gonna do uploads now. Creator and community products. This team will focus on driving creation through Gen AI tools, shorts. That's why my shorts been getting so many what's the names lately? Shorts and lives are last. And supporting creators on all sizes. It will also focus on building community across the platform. It will bring together creator led by Amjad, Emily, Jenny, and Wu Jing, and now Amjad. I see a pattern here. Led by Tony, that's spelled Toni. We will open a search to find a leader of this team, and will Johanna will lead in this interim. I see a pattern here. Sus- subscription products. This team will focus on driving subscription growth through music. What the fuck do you know? Subscription products. This team will focus on driving our growth across music and premium and OTT to take advantage of tremendous opportunities in this space. They are coming for the music industry. They want to be the new model for the music industry, the new iTunes, the new Spotify. They want to be your streaming go-to. And they're going to charge you for it too, or because it's a separate app. Please believe that. The team will be led by Christian and will bring together music led by TJ, Premium, Commerce, and Nitrate, led by Will, and OTT, which will hire a new leader. I am also pleased to announce that JT will take an expanded role as head of UX. And I don't know what that's a fucking acronym for, so don't ask me. The US org will move under Scott. Engineering and UX are both teams which will work horizontally across the organization, and we believe bringing these teams together. They can both benefit from skilled processes and best practices. Sharpening lead by Travis will continue to report to Scott. These changes will take effect immediately on November the 5th, 2025. There are no role eliminations as part of the reorganization. You can view the updated chart here. Aparna, Mary, Ellen, Matt, and Shakyar. I see a pattern here. Continue leading their teams. Reporting directly to me. Is that so? Are you the Batman in this universe, huh? Are you now? Running from there, huh? It's an incredibly exciting time at YouTube, and many opportunities and challenges lie ahead. But we also understand some of you may be ready for a new challenge. So we decided to make that challenge for you. Now, that's basically what he's saying. But we also understand some of you may be ready for a new challenge. So we decided now is the right time to offer you a voluntary exit plan. Starting today, eligible US YouTubers in my direct reporting org have the ability to voluntarily leave with a severance package. US YouTubers will receive no more details in a separate note. I've never been more excited about the future of YouTube. We have grown in size, scope, and complexity over the years, but our core leadership structure has evolved in a decade, and I believe these changes will set us up and continue in the future success. And that's what Neil McCann, CEO of YouTube, had to say. And everything that I told y'all falls flat into what I was telling y'all. These motherfuckers are trying to restructure this thing. And do you see that the changes will be effected immediately November 5th? Well, I know a little thing about rollouts here. So my prediction is November 1st, we're going to see all our views go up. Ain't that right, Neil? Huh? Ain't that right? You boys the other day, let me tell you a quick little story. I have been saying that I wanted to talk to our state senator, and if you're not familiar with him, our state senator here in Connecticut, which is Richard Blumenthal. He was actually one of the leading in the charge of bringing the CEO of Mark Zuckerberg, as his name. Mark Zuckerberg and a few others to testify in front of Congress, don't you know? And he did that, and he made the move to do that, and it happened. Subsequently, before that, Congress had brought some of these CEOs up into testifying to Congress or where they were going or whatever. So I had said, and I had said it boldly, and I'll say it again, I had said on here, and you're going to hear me say it, I had said, I think it's a time now that we bring these people back in front of Congress again. Well, I got my wish. I was going to talk to you about it yesterday, which was Thursday, and I was really meant to have the conversation about it now. They did so on Wednesday, and they had them in front. They had the CEO from, well, they didn't have the CEO, but they had representatives of the company. I will say that. It wasn't Neil McCann. But they had them from YouTube, they had them from Facebook, and it was another app, and I'm not sure what that other app was, but I will play the footage for y'all in a very few minutes here. I believe it was Mark Rubio. It might have been Mark Rubio. that was gunning them down, he was taking no motherfucking what's in considerations. He was asking them on things that they did in the past, but it based on the direction that this app is going, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I don't trust CEOs that want to move fast too quick. You know who else did that? They did that over at Marvel. Marvel wanted to. Let me tell you what I mean. I'll give you an easy comparison. So over at Marvel over there, they decided, and it was alongside Kevin. What's his name? I forgot what his name. His name would come to my Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige, and I forgot what the CEO is over there at Disney. He did the same thing. They wanted to move forward quickly. They wanted to increase the shows on Disney Plus. They wanted to offer a subscription rate for Disney Plus. People were dissatisfied with Disney Plus. They bought Hulu. Um, there was so much money I think put into what's the name Disney Plus that they couldn't maintain Hulu anymore. So now Hulu was a flop. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but Hulu was about to be over. Um, so they rushed into preparation to make all these movies and spent billions of dollars. I think one of the ones they spent the most money on was it didn't make that money back. It was a few of them, but I think the two most it did was I think it was the Black Panther one. It didn't see a real high return like that. I know the Marvels didn't see a high return like that. It was a few of them that flopped. The She-Hulk series flopped. Even the girl Tatiana, whatever her name is talking against them. All these projects failed that they launched. And it got the average consumer up until the time they made Deadpool and Wolverine, I would say, looking at them like, I don't want to be part of this shit. Now, there was other variable factors in that, the pandemic and everything like that. Don't make no mistake about that. But it was a setup and how they were trying to launch it. And even without the pandemic being there in the foreground, they still would have fucking failed because the movies were horrible. Yeah, some of it was production, it was interrupted, and they got what they had to get done. Yeah, I get that, but even still, most of these movies, you could go back, re-edit them, and re-put them out, and they'd probably be better movies, which they ought to do. I don't know why that's not an idea that rolls through people's heads. If you have a cut of a movie, and y'all took this out and took that out or whatever, change the model. Like, who gives a... People don't give a fuck really no more. Just be like, yo, this is... the Marvels recut. You know what I'm saying? Or the Marvels reimagined. You know what I mean? That one's free from me. You know what I'm saying? The Marvels reimagined. Or, you know what I mean? What was another one that failed? Ant-Man and the Wasp reimagined. You know what I'm saying? Versus Kang the Conqueror. And that's another thing, too. I'm going to tell you like this. Straight up down, Kevin Feige, I'm putting out a full-fledged... I saw that shit you tried to do with Dame Idris the other day and try to make it fake it and do that with our beloved... and man, listen, protect Angela Bassett at all costs. He had took a bunch of pictures. Marvel's taking a whole bunch of pictures in Ebony magazine or whatever, trying to do promo because they're gonna try to bring Dame Idris in as a new Black Panther. I see your move. You understand what I'm saying? I see your move. Trying to replace and get more black faces on there. Everybody black that didn't had on there, they either died or didn't just quite make the marker. Y'all ain't never paid attention to that? Listen, they had Captain America, and it was played by Sam Wilson. That shit ain't going nowhere. Then they had the TV show Captain America and what was it? Captain America and somebody, I forgot what the fuck it was. The Winter Soldier. That shit flopped. Ain't nobody like that shit. Then they had Black Panther, God bless his heart, he passed away. So then they replaced it with a woman on the second one. Ain't nobody like that shit. You know what I'm saying? And your box office receipts show that. If you're from Google, you should listen to me. I'm making a lot of sense here. They tried all these different models as experiments to throw them out, and they failed. Most of the people you got on YouTube is not fucking 16, 17, 18, 19 years old where you're trying to go in the next 5 years and say, oh, they're the future of it. You understand? Even with the Greeks and the Romans, you weren't even allowed, and where the actual word and the institution of it comes from, and even earlier than that, some people would say Egypt. It depends on, who you're asking. But whether it's the Egyptians, the Romans, or the Greeks, or whatever, the term of university, you weren't even allowed to go to university until you were 40 years old. This is true. You weren't allowed to go to university. You didn't go to university when you're 18. You didn't go to university until you was 40. Now, anybody want to disagree with that in my chat room? You may very well do so, and I will destroy you. Now, with that being said, I'm trying to think here. Average kid, if he was born in 2010, he's 15 years old now, right? You shouldn't be worried about this model of getting them heavily involved in AI until 2028, 2029. You trying to go full steam ahead with it, you're gonna have the same problem that Marvel had. They tried to go full steam. They were doing this, we're revamping everything. See the sales, you see the revenue, This is when motherfuckers jump, and this is when they fuck up the money. I've seen it 1,000 times. The CEO of Kmart, he did it. A whole bunch of these CEOs, they've done it before. They start making the money, and then they start fucking up with all this restructuring shit. We'll give you a buyout if you go. The money's good right now. The money's good right now, but it also signals something else. It also signals sometimes the end of your company. Sometimes a great substantial gain. Everything that goes up must come down. Sometimes when you get a high, Puff had a moment like that. He had a good ride with it too. This is when you seen the Been Around the World videos with J-Lo and $100 million budget and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember we left BMG because Clive Davis had some dispute with these motherfuckers. I ain't gonna say who, but he had a dispute with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Over there, he said, "Well, listen. I'll take this shit. I pack all this shit up, bitch." You understand what I'm saying? Like I can imagine what Kyle Davis said. Look, bitch, I've been motherfucking at Luther Vandross, Prince, Whitney Houston. All I'm saying is you got to go through me if you're gonna be successful, bitch. Without that, you like Harold Melville without the Blue Notes, bitch. You never go platinum without Clive up in this motherfucker. And subsequently after that, I ain't really heard no motherfucking Arista motherfucking artists. Y'all tell me an Arista motherfucking artist you heard of that was popping like that since Clive left him up there. Anybody? Anybody? Right, exactly. So, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta give credit where credit is due. Like him or don't like him, Arista ain't been shit since Clive Davis left from up there. But sometimes when you get people and you talk about buyouts and leaving and shit like that or whatever, because you want to restructure the company, you can hit two brick walls. One is there might be a motherfucker that was sitting in the break room for the past 14 years. And he was like, you know what? Out of the 20 years that this motherfucker's been here, YouTube, and I've been working here, 14, I've always thought about what they could do to make improvements or what they could do to change the shit in the real way. This is what you face. And so there'll be some motherfuckers that take that buyout just so they can take that opportunity to do so and create a better model than you. If you want examples of that, look at the nigga that created Reddit. If you want examples of that, you know what I'm saying? And I can keep going on. You get these employees that sometimes are better operators and better structured and smarter than the actual company owners. And I think that's what YouTube is going to come across. In between that mix of people that you're trying to get rid of and you're telling them to go away because you know the business model that you put forth has a high potentiality of failing. You're not going to segue everybody to AI no more than you're going to segue them to those goggles that Apple just recently had everybody using. It was charging $3,000 for basically a prototype. That was a fucking prototype. A prototype that they can market. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you might think I'm being a jerk, but what you're headed to right now is a prototype. How can I say it? A prototype rollout. Now, next month, trust me, as soon as November 1st hits, you guys, all of us, are going to see our views go back up. Why? Because they're commencing the rollout for November 5th, which he just stated. YouTube, at that point on November 5th, you guys have got to understand, and I'm going to conclude this with this, and then move on to the next subject. You've got to understand at that point it's going to be in a brand new frontier and ecosphere based on company redevelopment. This is why I told y'all the other day, right now, in these 2 months, you motherfuckers have got to start making some decisions. And those decisions are going to be very pivotal in the future that you spend here on this raggedy ass motherfucking app. Now, y'all know me, I don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? Because, nigga, first of all, and I'll tell you again, I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking vlogger. All right? I'm a musician. I'm not a fucking vlogger. And the last thing I would do is put my every bet and penny on putting my motherfucking music on this bitch in the direction they going. I'm here to let you know that right now. That shit is like fucking. I just smell that. Doesn't sound like copyright, contractual fubble, fubble. You understand? So let me put it in perspective for you. YouTube wants to get into the music game. All right, no cap about it. They want to take over the spot. It seems to me to be the go-to spot and the go-to model. So everybody will be yelling out YouTube music. Is that the plan? The idea? So what they do is they want to subtly give you and drive you in by giving incentives. Join YouTube Music now under our new model and get 3 months for free. After the third month, it's only $14.99 a month. Fuck. But you got to buy it in bundle, right? That's how you're going to do it. All these companies getting slick. You can get this service for $14 a year, or you can pay up front $230 right now and get the whole year on us, plus 2 free months, plus I'm still using that shit. They was doing that shit back in 2004. Y'all gotta realize a lot of this shit that these companies do is regurgitate the shit that been used over and over and over again. If you don't believe me, how many of y'all watch movies, especially of late, and you'd be like, man, I ain't seen this plot before. I don't know what movie it was, but I seen like this whole goddamn movie before. That's because it's the same regurgitated perimeters and ideas. This is what Neil Mahan's doing. He thinks he's an innovator. Baby boy, you ain't doing nothing but regurgitating the same systems and ideas and motherfuckers before you did. It ain't nothing different about it, ain't nothing innovative about it except for the fucking product. It's gonna fail. You're gonna see, and I'm gonna tell you the weeping part about it, and then I'm gonna move on. From this restructuring that you're attempting to do, you're gonna see a lot of people leave this app. They're gonna leave it in force, and what you're gonna be left with is kind of like the same thing you got going on out there in Vegas. Vegas put their priority on the wells and the people that were going to succeed and move forward. This is what Vegas did. You don't have to believe me. And if you don't believe me, I encourage you to go look it up. Vegas and one of the CEOs and I think the mayor of Vegas as well, they decided, they said they was going to get together and start getting rid of some of the riffraff to come out there and start putting their priority on the whales. You understand what I'm saying? Only one problem about that they didn't foresee. There's way more many regular or normie people than it is whales. Now, on this occasion, when we're talking about YouTube, the whales are those that are the premier YouTubers. You understand what I'm saying? The Mr. Beast, Marcus Brownie. No disrespect to either one of them, because I like Marcus a lot. The PewDiePie, it's people like that. That's the A royalty on this motherfucking, where all motherfucking respect would be put on because YouTube is paying these motherfuckers the most in AdSense revenue. Now, with that said, once you put your priority on all the whales, but you don't put it on the common folk, and you say, but making a statement, oh, we're going to put our emphasis on the common folk. No, the fuck they're not. There's no incentive in that. There's no incentive in fucking advertising anything for a motherfucker that's got 10, 15 motherfuckers in the chat room or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? I got 30,000 followers. You notice how low my chat room is? And I've been sharing this shit. They do this shit on purpose. Trust me when I tell you that. Right now, this month, they're prioritizing shorts. The reason they're prioritizing shorts because it moves up the revenue quicker. They want to move to a movement where they're almost like TikTok as well. This is a granular plan to induce a whole bunch of ideas based off other platforms and improvise them into a YouTube format. YouTube Music, Spotify. YouTube Shorts, TikTok. I'm not fucking dumb, dude. You're grabbing other business models and you're trying to implement them into your model. And what's going to happen ultimately in the end, the people are going to learn from your mistakes and implement them into their models and be successful. It happens like that. You don't believe me? Apple iTunes was at the top of the game, right? What happened? Somebody came in and innovated them. You don't believe me? What was the most? I can't even remember the name of it. It used to start with a Z. Everybody used to use that as a streaming system. I forgot what it was. Spotify came in, took them over. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what you're seeing. Don't be fooled by when you're hearing this jargon. We're going to restructure the company, and November 5th things are going to change. Yeah, they're going to change for the worse. Nowhere on the internet should you have a fucking live. And even if the live is not going with the Google searches, should there ever be just 8 people and 6 likes and you got 30,000 subscribers? And you know that the company is purposely blocking what you're saying because we can't let this get out to the mass. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. Just give me 1 second, y'all sharing this. Just give me 1 second, y'all sharing this real quick. I got a whole bunch of strangers and weirdos in here. YouTube has been sequestering my views. YouTube, along with a whole bunch of other vloggers, have been sequestering my views for a while now. For whatever reason that may be, and we stand diligent though. Whatever reason that may be, and we stand diligent though. We still gonna stay here, whatever. But if many of y'all know, not even at the end of my lives would I just have 8 people in here after I've shared and everything else. So yeah, there's definitely some fuck nigga shit going on over here. I made a right after you said something that started buffering. Yeah, I keep trying to tell you, they listening to me. My views started going down, and the reason I keep on this shit because my views went down, Pete Rock. My views went down when I started talking about this shit. I started saying I wouldn't get likes no more. I started saying I wasn't getting the views. We used to have 130 people minimum in the chat room. You understand what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is. You just don't you don't even worry about this app no more. This app is headed for the hole. They think they're about to succeed. They're headed for the hole. People are not into, especially a lot of people are anti-AI. So they're not going to join in on that system or whatever the case may be. So it is what it is. And you notice as I'm saying, what I'm saying is just going down and more and down and down. Look, man, the game right there, I gave it to you. I ain't going to expound anymore. It's a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? Even doing it because certain people ain't going, you know what I mean? They ain't even going to get the thing. That's the other thing that's horrible on here too. The audiences you get. The audiences you get, they either, I don't know, they either slow or just bent on watching stars and shit like that or whatever. And that's one of the problems I got right now with that F.B.A. crowd. And that's what I want to segue into right now. First of all, I want to say, if you're part of the F.B.A. crowd or whatever the case may be, God bless you. Salud. And tú sabes, no creo que sí. Good for you, right? But this is the thing, right? At the same time, I've had people from the F.B.A. come into my, and I know that's what they are because they'll say that because I have some subject or I mention them, all of a sudden they show up, these F.B.A. people. They show up in your chat room, right? These F.B.A. folks. And they'll be like, oh, you bang. Or this, that, and the other, or write some snob little comment or whatever, or whatever the case may be. Everybody's always broke. When it comes to the F.B.A., they got more than everybody, and living better. And then most of these people, if you really look at their lives, I don't have a history of living in project apartments. I don't have a history. I have a history of living in condos. You know what I'm saying? Right now, where I live at is probably the least place I've ever lived at in my life. I'm gonna put it that way. And I guarantee you come in this motherfucker, the first thing you'll say is, yo, this shit is nice and it's big. Like, you know what I mean? I got a backyard. I got trees and shit. You know what I'm saying? No, I have literally a backyard that's fenced off. Like, it's very, you trust me, you won't have a problem. But most people would look upon this and they would say the first thing, it is what it is. I've had all kinds of shit thrown at me from these F.B.A. folks and many other people online that have. So here's my question to you. Many of them will come out of the blue and they'll say, oh, we're defending the sisters and the black woman this and the black woman that and the black woman this. And I got something separate for F.B.A. women because I think y'all bigger hypocrites than the men. But what I want to say, especially you bitches, is part of that sisterhood bullshit. What I have to say to the F.B.A. You understand? And this is the same thing you should say to the F.B.A. if you know one. Are you going to help me? If you're a woman or a man that's going to be missing out on those EBT benefits and all that stuff this month or whatever, go to them niggas and tell them niggas to help you. They're going to tell you the same shit. What's going on, PK? You already know every time. Go to them niggas and tell them to help you. Them niggas supposed to be saviors, right? So tell them niggas that shit man's in them. Tell them to help you. Well, I said something wrong. My fault. I said something wrong. Two niggas that checked out. They must have been F.B.A. niggas. They're like, oh no, no, not me. I can't give up no money now. I'm all for the culture, but you gotta help yourself. Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm all about the culture, but you gotta help yourself now. You gotta help yourself. I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to do me a favor. I want y'all to go around on the internet and find all these people that claim that they F.B.A., right? And I want you to ask them this one question. I want you to ask them and say, listen, Mr. or Mrs. F.B.A., I need to know what you're going to do for the peoples, by the peoples, for the peoples, in the name of the Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Angela Davis, Tupac Shakur Fund that we using to gather up to get monies out to all the women, kids that's going to be missing out on the EBTs for this month. What is the F.B.A. going to do? What is Tariq Nasheed's contingency plan, as I asked last week? Have we gotten any updates? That's all I need to know. Have we gotten any updates? Oye, un camarada, tú tienes la chavo, pero la gente, ¿no? Tú tienes. Diablo, seños, tú no tienes la chavo, pana. Diablo, ¿por qué no? See? And then you start to get the entry with it. These motherfuckers can't take care of you. They just talking. Symbolic talking. You understand? Now, why do I bring that up? Because all across this beautiful country of ours, I'm going to go deep into it. All across this beautiful country of ours, trust me, the average nigga, they ain't going to want to hear this shit. You talking about helping black people? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't give no money to no black people unless it's black women. Mm-hmm. Y'all want some pancakes? Anyway, listen. So it's a structure. You listening to me? So basically it go like this. I'm watching all these different news reports and shit, right? Colorado, Ohio, Wisconsin, you name it. And what I'm seeing is all these white communities, including here in my own state. Don't make no mistake about it. Here in Connecticut's the same thing. Connecticut, just to give you a demographics perspective, 37% of Connecticut is Italian American. We have a high Italian population here. And the Italian population that I was around, a lot of them, they speak Italian. I filmed one time, I shouldn't have done it, but I filmed one time when some people were sitting right in front of me. And I said, okay, you don't believe me? Here goes some people right here speaking Italian. And some people were on my chat talking about, no, they're speaking Spanish. I said they were speaking Spanish. I know the difference between Spanish and Italian. It's both Latin. They derive from Latin, but they're not the same. You can tell some of the stuff they're saying. It's just like Portuguese. I can understand some Portuguese, but I can't speak fluently Portuguese. So my point of it is you distinguish those two languages or whatever. So I played it or whatever. I said, I'm trying to give you a point here. You understand? Well, I'm seeing these communities of these people that are not, and that's such a shame. You notice the 4 people dropped out of here. They have no responsibility towards you. And black Americans, you better start getting that. These people that get online and they talk about they care about you or whatever, they don't care about you. They don't care nothing about you. Now, for real care about you. Because you know what I'm seeing white communities do? You know what I'm seeing Latin communities do? They're all gathering up their resources together and they're saying, yo, what can we do to help our people? You're not seeing niggas do that. What you're going to see instead is comedy videos, reaction videos to people talking about, yo, we going to go steal. There are bitches literally online right now talking about we planning on a run through of the stores tomorrow on Saturday. There was a bitch that announced it. They should go arrest that bitch. You've been a worthless bitch your whole entire fucking life. They should lock that bitch the fuck up. Any bitch that comes to the conclusion of that, I'm gonna run up into the store. Like, bitch, you could go sell some pussy. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. Go sell some vajay. The variables of you going to jail over that versus going into a store and stealing is the probability is 2 places on. Well, what I said something wrong? These bitches ain't on OnlyFans no more? I said something wrong. These bitches ain't on OnlyFans. These bitches ain't on social media websites with the ass, the guaranteed ass shot. There are bitches that are on Facebook where 4 and 5-year-old kids can get access to, showing their ass. There are girls on Instagram that have full links to their link trees where you can go to OnlyFans, Fansly, and several other motherfucking websites. But I'm wrong for calling them bitches and nasty hoes. I'm wrong. There's bitches that have 3 or 4 kids that's on OnlyFans right now popping pussy, but I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Man, fuck you. Fuck any motherfucker that think like you too. Fuck them sluts. Cause there's girls that get up every fucking morning, go to work, go to school, go to class, whatever the fuck else that they do. And I'm supposed to diss them and put priority on a bitch. That's the problem right now with black and Latin culture. You put your priority in the whores. Sexy Red, you don't believe me? Sexy Red had a whole makeup line that was named STDs. Don't you tell me? And it ain't Mr. Sale. Ain't Mr. Sale. You ask me, a bitch that got a STD makeup 9 times out of 10 got a STD. When you say that, or she familiar with them. You know what I'm saying? Or she familiar with bitches that get them. Something with it that, because ain't no self-respecting woman gonna go around wearing makeup or any type of other shit that's named after STD. Let my daughter wear some motherfucking sexy red makeup and she come home. I give a fuck if she 45, but bitch, I'll beat your ass. Don't you go around here fucking up the family name for this shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, listen. Off that. Where the F.B.A. at? Where's the F.B.A. and where are they gonna be at for these sisters that they swear that they love? Where's Tariq Nasheed's contingency plan? See, I told you if something real went down, these niggas motherfucking wouldn't be ready. Well, here it is. Here it is. And y'all showing the whole world y'all ain't ready. Now, I just saw 2 people drop out because I'm having this F.B.A. talk. Now, I'm not talking about black Americans. No. I'm talking about these cocky, arrogant, obnoxious, blackity black, always got some racist shit to say, claim they speaking for the whole, nigga, I'm half black. You're not gonna speak for the whole entire culture, nigga, just like nobody Latinos gonna speak for the whole entire fucking culture either. And niggas hold that down. You say something in Latino culture and niggas don't agree with you, yo, get that nigga the fuck up out of here. You don't believe me? The nigga that was the president of Puerto Rico, he was a young nigga, right? Then they found out that this nigga was fucking up when they had the hurricane, that this nigga was fucking up the movement of the packages and shit like that for people to get fucking surprised. They didn't only move him, they went to the mansion and ousted that nigga. That nigga had to get on a plane to get the fuck up out of there. Same thing with the mayor, that female mayor that was in Puerto Rico. No nigga, no, you got to go. You got to go. Be a fucked up leader or a fucked up spokesman in Africa. See what they got for your ass. They put a towel on you, set you on fire, don't you know? Huh? Be a leader somewhere like Kazakhstan or fucking Pakistan or something like that. Talking about, yo, I'm the one. They'll get you the fuck up out of here. So when you start false flags about movements, make sure one thing stays clear. Them F.B.A. motherfuckers are full of shit. And ladies, y'all need to see that shit. In the end of this, you know who's going to come save you? Other women. That's who is. Now, for the F.B.A. bitches, let me talk to y'all for a minute. You mouthy motherfuckers is always online giving motherfucking war quotes like you ready to set it and shit. But most bunch of punk bitches I ever seen in my life, them F.B.A. bitches. Not all of them, but the majority of them. Punk bitches. Let me tell you punk bitches something. You bitches are going to be the ones going to be online. This is this prediction. These bitches are going to be the ones that are online talking about how they're better than the girls that are receiving the EBTs and all that shit. They're gonna say they better. See, if you would have been prepared, if you would have been invested, oh girl, it could have never been me, because see, I got my OnlyFans channel. I got my OnlyFans channel. I run my own business. This is what a bitch will tell you that's own business is. You understand? They gonna make fun of those girls. Some F.B.A. bitches, trust me, they gonna make fun of them girls. A lot of them F.B.A. bitches, they be behind the fact that they strip and sell pussy. Huh? What'd he say? A lot of them F.B.A. bitches be selling pussy. How do I know? Because there'll be bitches that's dumb enough on their fucking Twitters and every fucking thing else to put F.B.A. behind it. You better check your enrollment, Tariq Nasheed. That's what you need to do. You better check your enrollment. You got some hoes and hookers up in there. Oh, that's right. You was on the Pimp Chronicles. Oh, it makes sense. My fault, son. My fault. Oops, I said something. I said something fucked up. My fault. So anyway, listen, right? Niggas be thinking I'm taking jabs at the nigga. I'm like, nah, nigga, I'm trying to get you to tighten up shit. I actually like the nigga. That's the funny thing about it. I actually like the nigga. Notice I don't go in the deep jag. You know, the sucker niggas, they be up here. Yo, and fuck that nigga, Tyreek. I ain't never said no shit like that. Nah. Think me his little cousin, man. Little cousin came through, holler at you real quick, nigga. You better show and prove, motherfucker, or they gonna get rid of your ass. Let this shit stick through. And they don't come to some compromise today or Monday. Motherfuckers gonna start asking you this question, Tyreek Nasheed. Motherfuckers gonna start asking you this question, Boyce Watkins. Motherfuckers gonna start asking you this question, Umar Johnson. And ultimately, what the question's gonna be, what you gonna do for the sisters? Or what we have to do, my sisters and brothers, is prioritize on this moment that we have and reflect. Reflect on what? Well, you see, the system is what got us here. And then they'll segue into some shit like that, try to get you confused. No, ask them motherfuckers, what do you plan on doing, like the white folks are in Colorado, out here in my state and many other states that are banding together and they're saying, hey, we got to do something for our people, opening food pantries, handing out money. They're doing all kinds of shit, secret shoppers for people, all kinds of shit. White folks is doing this. But all these niggas are running around talking about how everybody broke. Okay, so put your money where your motherfucking mouth is, bitch, and they can help some of these girls out. Help some of these girls out. Where is your savior in the F.B.A, ladies? And y'all should demand this of these motherfuckers. These niggas be out here talking the most. They claim they represent that F.B.A shit. So I'm asking these motherfuckers, the majority of y'all weak motherfuckers, y'all weak. Y'all weak. I can tell by the diatribes and the conversations y'all try to have. Majority of them are weak. They ain't never been nowhere, never had nothing, never been about nothing, never helped nobody put or color out. They do it because it's symbolic and they can talk about it online. And they'll talk about all this anti-white shit and who's a tether and all this shit. And the whole time they doing it on white-owned websites. Huh? I said that was a fucking mistake in the first place when pro-black, the way that the pro-black motherfucking diatribe got destroyed was niggas got off the street and started coming to the internet. You destroyed it on your own. You helped it implode. Because now they can monitor everything that you're saying. So that's why I tell you, niggas, sometimes saying what you need to say is better kept at the dinner table. Or unless you can't do that, at least do better edits. Y'all niggas be telling everybody. And matter of fact, we down here at this street. And we out here doing this. And this what the place look like right here. It's at this address. This is the Black Museum. You know, I know we say it's a museum, but we in here partying and having drinks and comedy shows and shit. While niggas is out here starving. You can't lead the people unless you can feed the people. Boy, I told you this before this shit started. I'm going to say it one more time. Bobby Glanton Smith quoted it the best. And at the time, he said Jim Brown told him this. He said, you can't lead the people unless you can feed the people. 5150 Corey Holcomb Church. So like I said, once a motherfucking again, niggas. Where these F.B.A motherfuckers, huh? Where are your saviors? Call them, Lord, call them. Where are your saviors at? Latinos, uniting across the country, putting their resources together. Hey, we gotta help the people. I want you, as Black Americans, one more time, watch and see if your people come and help you.